Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. My goodness. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is unbelievable to be in this chapel with you on this August Shabbat, and with the chapel so full. And looking out to this room, I know that many of you are here for so many different reasons. So many different reasons in your life. Perhaps you've come here because this is where you always are on Friday night and you are amazed by how full we are this evening. Perhaps you're here because you're part of 2239 and you're here for Metro Minion. Perhaps you're here because it's just been a hell of a week, and you need to breathe a little bit. Perhaps you are here because you are remembering someone or a few people who are unbelievably special to you and who have made a mark on your life, and who you could think of no better way than to remember them by being here together in community, held by this community, held by our tradition, and lifted up by this tradition. And for whatever reason that you are here this evening, we are so glad that you've come, and so glad that your presence has made this space unique and special and holy. One more time, I'm Rabbi Eliana Fischel. I'm joined by Rabbi Rachel Schmalkin. Our newest addition to the clergy team, if you have not met her yet, is Rabbi Rachel Schmalkin. And you should make sure to introduce yourself after services. And
I can promise to ask you your name and then not remember it for a few more times.
It's a promise, everyone. And Cantor Suzanne Hamstra, who is no longer the newest member of our clergy team. Look at that, yeah. That's a real reward here.
A round of applause for that.
And we are joined by these wonderful musicians.
So we are so lucky to have with us, helping us raise our voices and our prayers and our souls. We have Seth Keibel on clarinet and flute, and we have Brendan Brady with us on percussion, and we are so blessed to have their music, to have their talents, and to have their passion helping us to pray this evening and welcome Shabbat.
Beautiful. Typically on a Metro Minion evening, we haze newcomers. If it's your first time at Metro Minion, we make you stand up and introduce yourself and say where you're from. We're not going to do it tonight because look how many people there are here. And we want to kind of get to Shabbat. So I'm making a quick decision that if this is your first time here at Metro Minion, be brave and do the thing that you don't want to do, which is that like social hurdle of going up to someone and saying like, hey, my name's Eliana and it's my first time here, like what is going on? Or where do I go? Or what do I do? Because we really want to connect with you. We just might not know we do yet. And so please make sure that you say that. So you know us, you might not know each other, and so I'm gonna give you an opportunity to do that right now. Shabbat is good with prayer and singing and spirituality. It's better in community, and that only works if you know someone. So feel free at the moment to ideally turn to someone you don't yet know, which might mean you have to get your booty off the chair, and share. Hold on, I'm gonna give you instructions. Jews are so bad at this. I'm gonna give you instructions. I want you to share your name, where you're from, and the question of today, which like there couldn't be any other question, is Barbie or Oppenheimer? And you don't have to have seen them, like which is your go-to, Barbie or Oppenheimer? It says a lot about your personality. Go. Barbie. Obviously Barbie. Obviously Barbie. Have you guys seen it?
Yes. I have not seen it.
Like, brilliant.
I need to go with Hester. Hester
so good. It's so good. I think I'm going to go again. I mean, I would too. And I think I'm going to go. Eric didn't go because he was with the kids. And I was like, I'll go again with you. Like, it's awesome. Didn't like it? Fine. Whatever. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you know this already, but Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
The hardest thing for Judas to do is stop talking.
We are going to begin our prayers on page 12. Lechun Ranana Ladonai. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai.
Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana Adonai. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzor Yishenu Nikad Mafana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzor Yishenu Bizmirot Naria Lo. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana Ladonai. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu Ekan Mafana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu Bizmiro Naria Lo. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana Ladonai. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana Ladonai. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam umelot. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam umelot. Yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamamai, mamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, 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 yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, 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 yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, yamamamai, mamai, 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 yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam
Beautiful.
So before we come to Lechado D, I want to tell you a little story of something that happened in my house this week, which is that my 16-month-old daughter was sitting on the chair, and I made the mistake of walking away for a quick second to get a blue scooter. And she saw that blue scooter while sitting on the chair and just launched herself off of the chair in excitement. She's okay, so you don't have to worry, she's fine. But she did not know she was fine at first. So she was crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. And I'm patting her back, and then all of a sudden, she just takes, she goes, she took 2 very deep breaths, which clearly were to calm herself down. And it was amazing. And I thought to myself when she did that, I don't think adults know how to do that. I don't think we know how to calm ourselves down when things get chaotic, when we're upset, when we're so busy, when we're frantic, whatever adjective fits your week or your life. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if we all could just do that a little bit more, be like Lila, and just take a deep breath and know we need to calm ourselves down. And I think that that's really one of the great gifts of Shabbat, is that we have this built-in time in our Jewish calendar every week that tells us you need to take an inhale and you need to exhale, and you just need to calm down for a moment. And so hopefully the singing that we've been doing has been getting you to that place of being able to take a deep breath, to calm down. And if it hasn't, you have a whole other song here, another Psalms, Lechado D, right? We're going to sing this, and by the time we get to the end of it, so we're going to sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and it's really at that final verse when we stand up and we imagine welcoming in the Sabbath bride. That's when Shabbat is here, and that's when we're ready, and that's when we take that deep, deep, deep breath of calm.
Page 20 and 21. Turn to Sadiqa Tamar in the middle of page 22.
Sadiqa Tamar Yifrach Ke'erez Balanon Yizkeh Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun Beseva Deshenim Veranim Yiyu Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonai Suriri Velo We turn to page 28 and rise for our call to prayer, our prayer of coming together. And what an amazing coming together we have tonight for Baruch Hu. Join me on page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv arabim.
We continue with our prayer of God's love falling down upon us, Ahavat Olam, on page 32.
before we continue on page 36, I just have to take a moment hearing all of your voices declaring God's oneness together. I can't imagine a more potent way of feeling God in this room and the oneness of God in all of your beautiful voices. Amen. What a gift, what a blessing tonight. Mm-hmm. And we continue on page 36 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam be'shivtecha bebeitecha ubelechtecha b'derech ub'shochbecha ub'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue on page 40 with our Song of Freedom.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה נורא תהילות עושה אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ובניך בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות, we'll keep going. עושה פלא, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
I think in a few more weeks, Cantor Hamster and I will actually be able to read each other's minds, but
We're not there just
we haven't
yet.
gotten there quite yet. So we're about to sing our prayer that asks for safety and protection. And I think most often when I think about this prayer, I think about protection and safety from the many dangerous things in our world, the many scary things and maybe evil people. But I think there are other things that are scary that we don't talk about all that often. And I think that one of those things is being alone and loneliness. And I recently bought this book. It's actually by a Christian theologian, but it has really beautiful really beautiful prayers in it. The book is called The Lives We Actually Have by Kate Bowler. And I've changed the prayer a little bit at the end, but I thought I would read it because I think it could speak to many of us. God, there is a space here in my heart, in my life, I wish others could fill. Would it be embarrassing to admit that I'm lonely? I need someone walking with me whose eyes see what mine do, whose ears are open to hear my thoughts, and whose heart can be cracked open a smidge more. I was not built to do this alone. I feel it in the transitions, God, in the moments I need someone to call after a memory I don't want to forget. It feels like leaning back without knowing if I will feel the comfortable weight of being held. Could you remind me first that I am loved, that my needs aren't too much, that my personality isn't too absurd, that the details of my life deserve a record kept by another? Give me courage to look in new places, to risk reaching out, making plans with acquaintances who might turn into friends. Give me peace, give me hope, give me people. Spread over us the shelter of your peace so that even when I feel most alone, I still feel you. Blessed are you, God, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, and over Jerusalem.
That shelter, that protection from loneliness is not just from the people beside us or the people in community here in this space, but also those who came before us, the community of our ancestors who came before us, who celebrated Shabbat for thousands of years before us who took on this tradition that we perpetuate this evening. And so we take that moment, we take those feelings of loneliness that all of us have in different ways, and we bring them together in community and celebrate Shabbat. V'shamru, page 44.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. Beini ubein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam.
The hand movements were at Sinai too. On page 46, we begin our Amidah, and as I mentioned earlier, we sort of have two communities in one community this evening. We have our usual Washington Hebrew community as well as our 2239 community. And at Metro Minion, we do this prayer a little bit differently, which is that in a second, we're gonna rise and do blessings 1, 2, and 3 together. And then we're gonna immediately go into silent prayer. There's gonna be no cue for that. You're just going to either continue through the pages of the Amidah with the words on the page, or with whatever prayer you have in your heart this evening, whatever you need to say to God tonight, whatever you need to say to yourself tonight. And when you feel like your prayer is complete, you can feel free to be seated. And everyone always sort of like looks to the person next to them to see if it's okay to sit. I'm telling you right now, it's okay to sit. You just do it. And so that's how we're going to join together in the Amidah. We'll rise on page 46.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasei Avot v'imahot, U'mei Gula Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bagevurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, lechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu ha'selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Many of us come here tonight carrying a burden. Many of us are caring for those in need of healing. Many of us are in need of healing ourselves, whether of mind, of body, or of spirit. We hold in our hearts all those who need healing. At Washington Hebrew, we're thinking particularly of Hillary Kaplan. And if there is someone for whom you are caring, I ask that you share their names as my eyes meet yours as I come around the room. And then follow up with us. Make sure that we can check in on you so that we can be in community and support you. Support whether you are in need of healing yourself or supporting someone needing healing. The reason we come together for prayer, for community, for strength is so that we can lift each other up. For all of these names that we've said aloud and for all the ones we hold in our hearts, we join together on page 253 with the words of Misha Berach. In community, we don't only lift each other up when things are tough and when things are hard, but we also lift up when we have joys, when we have simchas. We get to celebrate those together. And so it's our tradition here at Washington Hebrew, if you have a simcha to celebrate, big or small, although for this evening I'm going to say let's stick to big if we can, like birthdays and anniversaries and things like that, or whatever, however you want to define it. And when we hear that simcha, the community is going to say modim anachnu lach, which means we are grateful, because when one of us has a joy, all of us can experience that joy. That's what being in community means. So if you have a simcha to share, now that I've set the bar high, please share with our community. Awesome, Joanne.
After a very troubled teenage our nephew got married today.
Oh my goodness. Wonderful. For people becoming grown-ups and for wonderful marriages, we say,
Modim anachnu lach.
Yes, Grace. Yes, Grace.
Oh, we got engaged on Saturday.
Oh my goodness, wonderful. For soon to happy marriages. And for finding our bashert, we say,
Modim Anach.
Yes.
I'm moving to Charlottesville next week to start law school.
This feels like a simcha to you.
It's
All right, let's move on. No, for wonderful people becoming lawyers and making their dreams come true, and for getting yourself back to DC, we say, Modim
Anach.
Yes.
My bar mitzvah's tomorrow.
Your bar mitzvah's tomorrow. Wonderful. For people becoming Jewish adults in our community and for our ability to celebrate you, we say Modim
Anach.
I'm going to take two more. Yes, Ellen.
For the birth of my grandchildren, my first grandchildren in San Francisco,
Ah.
they're now actually 7 months old.
Amazing. We'll take it. For new generation, we say Modim
Anach.
Last one, yeah. Today, happy birthday. For another year around the sun, we say
Modim Anach.
And for all of these blessings, big or small, for the ability to get up this morning, for getting ourselves here, we're at the bottom of page 58. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulchana lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. So I have spent at least a week of my life, at least a week every year of my life, in Provincetown, Massachusetts. And I just came back this week from 2 weeks in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Technically, my family's home is in North Truro, but it's cooler to say we're in Provincetown. And I always, when I'm there, I always feel the same way, and it's two things that are sort of overwhelming to me. One is the ease, which is just like the ease of vacation, right? The questions of the day are not like responsibility and obligation, but rather it's, should I go to the beach at the bay or should I go to the beach at the ocean? Like, what a dilemma, right? Like, it's just, there's ease, there's space. And there's an ease about it, and where your decisions aren't as big as other decisions that we usually make in our lives. And then there's Provincetown specifically. For those of you who don't know the area, Provincetown is an LGBTQ capital of the world. I have grown up there every single summer, and although I am a straight cis woman, and which means I am sort of capitalizing on someone else's community, it is also the place where I feel uniquely me. It's the place where, as a teenager, I would try on like new clothes that I wouldn't wear to school yet, but wanted to see how it felt to like walk down the street with them. It's where, when I had more hair, I would try a new hairstyle. I'm pretty sure it's where I got my second nose ring. All of these things where I would sort of try out different ways of being. It was a place to experiment with who I was, with my personality, because so many people around me were experimenting, so it felt okay. And it felt like I could be whoever I want to be. And then I'd come home, and it would quickly dissolve, right? I would say, I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna hold on to the space. I'm gonna hold on to the ease. I'm gonna hold on to like this new cool version of me. But then it disappears. And that's what happened this week. Don't get me wrong, like half the board of Washington Hebrew is in here. Don't get me wrong, I love my life. I love being a Washington Hebrew. I love living in Maryland and DC. I love my family. And yet, come Wednesday morning, and to be fair, we got in at 2 a.m. Wednesday morning, and then I was back here at 9. Come Wednesday morning, I was like already on the grind. Like my fists are like this, because that's what it felt like, right? Already, immediately I was, okay, 500 emails, this sermon that I have to give on Friday night, is there gonna be dinner for $22.39 on Friday night? How are we paying for it? What's going on? Is the nanny coming at 10 a.m. because I haven't seen her in a month? And how many different things are happening? And suddenly I was just going. The ease was gone, as was this like cool Eliana that I had in Provincetown, right? I was just going for the grind. And what's interesting, or what I found interesting in the Torah portion this week, is that the Israelites are actually going the other way. They've been in the place of labor. They've been in the place of grind. They've been in the place of responsibility and obligation, particularly for others. And now, in our Torah portion this week, Parshat Ekev, They are on the brink of something different. They are on the brink of ease. And actually, they're literally at the border of the promised land, and God is telling them how the promised land is going to be different from Egypt. It's going to be filled with tons of wonderful things. If you were in 2239 Shot of Torah earlier, you heard about the 7 species and all of these fruits and grains that are going to fill the earth. It does kind of sound like a paradise, right? And there's this fascinating verse where God says, the difference that you're going to feel between Egypt and the promised land is this. In Egypt, you had to labor at watering your crops. We can actually kind of feel it in our backs, like the labor of slaves. You had to labor to water your crops so that you could have vegetables to eat. In the promised land, the rain will just come. In the promised land, the rain will just come and you'll have crops. It's beautiful. It really does sound like a paradise. It sounds like Gan Eden, as if at the end of Deuteronomy, which is where we are, we're like back at the beginning of Genesis, right there in the Garden of Eden. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Because the deal is, I'm not a meteorologist, but I'm pretty sure Egypt and Israel get the same amount of rain. Like they're in the same climate, they're in the same area, right? The things that grow in Egypt grow in Israel. These places don't seem that different. So what is different? What's different about how the Israelites are going to work in Egypt and how they're going to work in the promised land? Because they do. No matter how we feel about the state of Israel at the moment, one of the miracles of the early pioneers, the early Chalutzim, and now I'm talking about modern state of Israel, is that the line is they made the desert bloom. That's what they did, right? If you ever have been to the Negev in Israel, like it is bloomed. Like there's agriculture there. That's wild, and it takes a lot of work, just as much arduous labor as it took in Egypt, I am sure. And so what's the difference? Like, what is God talking about? That Wednesday, 2 days ago, it was rough, I'm not gonna lie. It was really hard. I was really intense about getting through those 500 emails. And every Wednesday, or most Wednesdays of the year, I teach Wednesday study groups. Some of you are in it with me. And it's a highlight of my week usually. That day, I was not looking forward to it. It felt like arduous labor to me. I had picked a text that I was really excited to learn and to figure out how to study, but now here I was on Wednesday morning and had not figured out how to learn and study it, and now had to teach it to other people. And the thing that I love about teaching is bringing it home and how do we relate to it and what does it mean for our life? And while I was able to teach it to others, I had no idea what it meant for our life. I wasn't there. Luckily though, I have students. And I signed on, it's over Zoom, and we start studying together. And suddenly one of the students says, well, I can see how this relates to my life because this, and this. And suddenly it happened. Meaning happened, and connection happened, and relationship happened, and understanding happened. And suddenly I went from, God, I have to do these 500 emails and I have to teach this class, to what a pleasure. What a pleasure to teach this class. What a pleasure even to connect to those 500 people that I had to connect to. What a pleasure it is to speak to all of you this Friday. What a pleasure it is to figure out how Jews are going to eat on Shabbat. But really, what a pleasure it is to do this work. The difference here is not about the work. The work remained the same. The agriculture remains the same. The water remains the same. Our perspective changes. Our perspective from going to a I have to a want to. A perspective of going from this is arduous labor to this is a labor of love. This is a labor of ownership. Perhaps that works for you for work. Perhaps you're in a career that is passionate and that you're excited about. Perhaps work is not like that for you. And no matter how hard you try to look at it, that work is going to be arduous labor. I get it. There's other parts of our life where we can find ease, where we can find ourselves, where we can find that labor of love. What if even with how tired we are, that drink we promised with a friend at the end of the day and we really don't want to go and it has become a have to, what if we rethink about it? Rethink it as, well, you know what, I want to cultivate friendship in this moment. I want to cultivate community. And so even though I'm tired, God, what a blessing. I get to go have a drink with this person. Or what if instead of I have to go to the gym because I have to lose 10 pounds, it is, God, after sitting for 10 hours today, I really want to move my body. Like, I really want to do that for myself and for my head. That's what I want to do right now. What a pleasure. Thank God I get to do it. Thank God I get to do it. Where in our lives can we go from have to to want to? Where in our lives can we go from Egypt to the promised land? Because they're not so far from each other. They don't look that different. And in both places, the rain will fall. We just have to make sure we see it. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
When we find ourselves in our own Mitzrayim, a narrow place of struggle, toil, and the grind, a headspace of frustration and resentment, of the people who need us, of the demands on our time and our skill, of our ability and our passion. We open up our hearts, we offer ourselves this blessing. May we be saved, may we be free, may we find space to just be. Can you hear our song? Can you hear our song? May we find our way back home. Can you hear our song? Can you hear our song? May we find our way back home. Can you hear our song? Can you hear our song? May we find our way back home. Can you hear our song? Can you hear our song? May we find our way back home. We rise and turn to page 282 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
May be seated. As I said at the beginning of our service, there are people who have come here this evening, yes, in joy and in community, but also in memory of loved ones, of people who we've loved so deeply. in memory of people who have been taken too soon from our life and from our world, people who changed our lives for the absolute better, who made us stronger, who made us feel like the unique versions of ourselves that we should be, and felt beloved for who we are. And so this evening, Washington Hebrew remembers Edward A. Aronson, Joan G. Adolph, Abad B. Backenheimer, Isidore Berkman, Lillian S. Bennett, Alice Bindeman, Marcel Batoon, Francis Brody, Helen Levy-Berlasky, Abe L. Cohen, Jerome Cohen, Sarah Cohen, Selma Breslaw Cohen, M. David Dubb, Alexander Charles Emsalem, Dora Enzel, Gershon B. Fursan, Irene Fine, Julius Meyer Fogelman, Cy Friedman, Sylvia Friedlander, Harold R. Frost, Melvin Gelman, Jack Gennison, Albert Goldberg, Janet Goldberg, Rose Lack-Hamovit, Rose Hannenbaum, Manya Hausman, Isaac Heidenheimer, Margaret Herman, Becky Hirsch, Sylvia Jameson, Maurice Janoff, Margaret Rose Kaminsky, Helen Meyer Katzenberg, Lizzie Kaufman, Sar Kaufman, Cora Lee Kaufman, Ray Nofer, Max P. Krantz, Bertha Kronheimer, Annie Kermerker, George S. Lackman, Astrid Langer, Hannah M. Landsberg, Stanley Landsberg, Sylvia Lean, A. Ross Lerner, Carlin Krupp Levinson, Emily Levy, James A. Livingston, Lillian Livingston, Helene Barron Lockwood, Sylvan J. Lux, Camille L. Lyon, Marjorie Hausman Lyon, Stanley Mayer, Esther R. Motzman, Milton Nathan, Rosalie H. Nordlinger, Bessie Oberman, Theodore Howard Orleans, Maxwell Oxman, Sylvan Powdermaker, Gretchen Ring, Lawrence C. Sack, Irving Sager, Michael Schechter, Samuel H. Scheid, Rosalie Schneider, Sylvan Schwartz, Sylvia J. Shapiro, Elizabeth Shores, Milton A. Simon, Sidney Simon, Stanley Smith, Eddie Carlos Solly, Teresa Lee Stabler, Miriam Stern, Joseph Strasburger, Frank Wallace, Helena G. Warfield, Stephen L. Wyman, Stan Wiener, Linda Wiener, Fanny M. Weisberg, Jillian Rose Wiener, Lindsay Eliza Wiener, David Wise, Rena Frank Wolfsheimer, Jack Ziffer, Milton Saperstein, and those recently laid to rest: Thomas Nordlinger, Kenneth Lux, Stephen Burston, Vito Levy, Janet Rosalind Adler, Joyce Press, Dr. Ernest Zimmerman, Rosalind Schweitzer, Stanley Eisman, Kenneth Lindy, Florence Lillian Peppershot, Erwin Monshine, Barbara Sheriff Shockett, Daniel Levy, Rosalie Ricky Marks, Robert Langle, Irving Mises, Michael Assoon, Simon Merks, and Sans Shadow. If I have inadvertently mispronounced the name of your loved one, or if you have another name to add to our memorial this evening, I'll ask that you share that name out loud with our community at this time. We rise as we turn to page 294 as one community in love and support. On page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, ve'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dehol beit Yisrael, va'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mibarach le'olam u'lalmei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudasha b'reichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. And we say together, Amen. You may be seated. It is my honor to call up one of our board of directors, Andrew Lazaro, to make some announcements on behalf of our community. There you go. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Should be on.
Is this on?
It
Yes.
is.
So first of all, on behalf of the Board of Directors and probably everyone else in this room, I will say I did not find it at all funny, the concept of Rabbi Fischel not coming back from vacation. So
I was always going to come back.
I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us tonight. And on behalf of the board, wanted to make sure everyone knew we have some wonderful opportunities to engage with WHC and the community in these next few weeks. First of all, mark your calendars for August 19th at the Julia Bindeman Suburban Center for our next hunger packing project. On September 8th to the 10th, join us to kick off the new year with a weekend of events, including Welcome Back Night Shabbat, Vintage Reflections wine tasting, and an American Slichot concert on Saturday, and RS open house on Sunday. Finally, our High Holy Day tickets are now available for order. Please take a copy of the This Week with you and use the QR code for more information, or of course visit our website.
And we have 2239 services for High Holidays as well, so you can find that information in your newsletter. Thanks.
See, that's why I'm glad she came back.
That's it. That's the only reason.
Every Shabbat, we increase our joy by reciting Kiddush. This is a moment when we remember the miracle of the Exodus and celebrate our freedom. At Washington Hebrew Congregation, we also use this moment in our service to remember Cammie, Lauren, Nathanson, and the power each person has to make an impact in our community and to change the world for the better. As we celebrate the milestone of our bat mitzvah, Celeste Jones, we invite her to the bima, along with all the children who are present tonight, to come forward and lead us in the Kiddush. May the vision of these young people give us strength, pride, and hope for a brighter future.
Yeah, come on up. Can you do two hands? Two hands, two hands, two hands. Two hands. There you go, guys. You can come all the way up, too.
All right.
Oh, great jacket.
So, do you want to go grab a
There you
cup of
go.
juice?
Come all the way in front. Come all the way up here. All the way up here. All the way up here. We're going to wait for the blessing. It's really hard. It's so hard. It's not fair. Cassie, you want to come up? Here, sweets. You can have juice whether you come up or not.
One? Right over there. Rabbi Fischel has more.
Oh, my goodness. There you go, Sol.
You can't forget the bat
I
mitzvah's
know.
younger brother.
I know. I think we're good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam barei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified with us with mitzvot in love and favor. You made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Makadish HaShabbat.
Amen.
Amen. And we'll join together in chanting the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah
L'chaim.
You all can drink your juice. You can drink your juice. You waited so patiently. My goodness.
Gulp it all down,
And
because that's
so
yours
I
to
think
keep.
you have a job to go grab the challah. Yeah, Grandpa finished.
There we
for you.
go. There we
Go,
go.
go.
Yeah. Wait, stay.
Oh, Anna, do you want to help too?
Okay.
Help. Here, I'll take this for you. You can help too.
All right.
All right.
Bring it all the way up. Careful of the flowers.
Perfect.
All right. Sol, while you hold that tray, Anna, would you help
we can
by
bless you.
taking this challah cover off? Just lift it right up.
Right off. Oh, nice.
Like a magician.
Ready? Come forward. Come forward. Come here.
And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. And
So
would
you're
you
going to go
please
give
bring
that back
right
to your friend
Mr.
Dan.
Kaplan?
And then you're going to come under this tallis. On Shabbat, we take an opportunity to bless some of the most important people in our community, our next generation. And so we're going to bless you with these ancient words of blessing that the priest said to the Israelites.
Right under the tallis.
And moms get to come in too.
There we go.
And we'll say, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God show God's face to you and grant you the greatest blessing of all, the greatest of wholeness and of peace. And together we say,
Amen. Amen. Our closing song. Thank you all so much. You can head back to
Now
your
you get to have a
seats.
seat.
Our closing song this evening is Adon Olam on page 321. Following our closing song, if you are in 2239, we're going to have dinner in the social hall in Edlovich Hall. You can head there. And everyone else, there is a wonderful oneg for you in our lobby. Adon Olam.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra ve'ed nasa b'chefso azay melech shemo nivra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra ve'ed nasa b'chefso azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshir lo lehachbira ve'li reishit ve'li tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ha'misra ve'hu eli ve'chai go'ali ve'tzorchech li be'et tzara ve'hu nisi u'manosti menakosi be'yom ekra. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra ve'ed nasa b'chefso azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara be'yado afkid ruchi be'et ishan ve'ayira be'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra ve'ed nasa b'chefso azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.